Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing my cozy author essentials that I personally need to have my best writing life. If you're new here, hey, hi, hello, my name is Melanie Steele, and I'm the author of 3 non-fiction books about cozy living, and I'm currently writing my first cozy fantasy novel entitled The Lunar Courts Library. Now, let me preface this video by saying you don't need any of these things technically. If you want to write, all you really need is an idea and some means of recording it, whether that's a computer, pen and paper. Those are technically the only things you need. However, most of us, we like to have a few more things than that. That for me would be a very sparse way of doing things. I am someone who needs my writing environment to be just so. I need the things that are going to both help me write and the things that are going to inspire me to do so. So this list of author essentials isn't just the kind of things that you might expect, but of course there will be some absolute essentials that we all need on here. But it's things as well that help me kind of build a space that I feel comfortable to write in, is going to kind of bring out the best, and just somewhere that I want to spend time. Because one of our number one challenges that we face as writers is no matter how much we love our stories, we don't always want to sit down and write, whether that's because we have writer's block or we're just not really feeling it that day. Particularly if you're someone who is neurodiverse and you have days where just know you have no dopamine, cannot get started. I feel you. I absolutely have days like that. So for me, as I've said, it's really important to have a space that feels like me, that inspires me, and is somewhere that I really want to be. So without further ado, let's get into my author essentials. These are in no particular order, but I'm going to start with something that's very basic, but absolutely has to be this particular one, and that is pens. As I've mentioned in another video, which I will pop a link to up here, I like to outline my novels on paper, and I predominantly like to think through things on paper, thus need really good pens, and these are my preferred ones. This is very YouTube 2016, isn't it? The V5 High Tech Point 0.5 nib. These write so well. It's just so smooth. There is never any issues with the ink flowing. It never gets caught on, no matter what paper I'm using. They just absolutely flow perfectly. Would highly recommend these if you're looking for a very basic pen that is not going to kind of conk out halfway through using it, or is going to kind of be very unreliable for jotting down your notes, because there's nothing worse than when you're mid-flow and your pen just gives out. It's really discombobulating, because you then have to go find another one and then the train of thought is gone, right? So very basic, but absolutely recommend these Pilot pens. I got these from W.H. Smith, but you can also find them online at Amazon, because what can't you find at Amazon? Continuing on with the paper and analog tools, index cards in a variety of rainbow colors. I really need to find a better way of storing these rather than this flimsy bag that they came in. If you have watched my video about how I outline my novel, I mentioned in there that I like to use these to make scene cards, so that I can be sure that each scene is serving a purpose and is not just me waffling on about things. So if you'd like to learn a bit more about doing scene cards, I will link that video up there. But yeah, I like to have these so I can write out the details of my scene, and then I keep them in just a little kind of photo album binder so that I can reach them quite easily if I need to kind of check the details of a scene, or if I want to go in and change it, obviously I can do that. My next essentials, planners. Paper planners, and because I'm extra, I've got 2. So I will start with this one. This is the HB90 planner for the current quarter, which is actually due to end in a couple of weeks. Don't know where that time has gone. If you're not familiar with HB90, it is a productivity course run by Sarah Cannon, who is an author you can find here on YouTube. It is an excellent course for anyone that is into planning and organizing, or even if you're not and you're looking for a method that is certainly friendly to those of us who are neurodiverse, because she has so many adaptations and different ways of doing things. If this doesn't quite work for your brain, HB90 is where it's at. Now, sadly, she is not running a live round this coming quarter because she's just busy with her actual writing projects. But later in the year, I think September, there will be a live round where you're able to purchase this course. Now, what makes this different from sort of other planners is the variety of goal setting things that you get. So, for example, there's space for a vision statement, pages for things that you need to do, things that you should do, etc. It's a whole system. Without wanting to give too much away, because obviously this is a paid product, essentially the approach to goal setting here is much different than other systems in that you narrow down the time you have to actually work with, which is where we all go wrong, because we all vastly overestimate how much time we have to do things. So this system kind of flips that on its head, and you spend the first kind of part of this course actually drilling down into the time you have available specifically to write. And it goes from there in terms of setting goals and making sure they are appropriate to the time that you have. And of course, it has the actual kind of pages in here where you can plan things out. So for example, there's a weekly spread, and this particular version, there are a couple of different versions of this planner that you can get. I also have daily pages, because sometimes when I plan out my week, things change and I hate the fact that it's then wrong. So the daily page gives me the opportunity to have like a fresh start each day. So if I plan to say, do this task on Tuesday, but that did not happen, I don't have to sit there and cross it out. I can just go to the day that I did do it, or I'm planning to do it, and put it in there, and it's just game changer. So yeah, highly recommend the HB90 course when it opens again later in the year, if you're looking to kind of get more organized and more intentional with your time in regards to writing. Now then, as well as this one, I have my Erin Condren Evolve 7x9 Life Planner. I love Erin Condren, and I just so wish that it was more readily available here in the UK. It's a US brand. I did actually manage to find this on Amazon UK, but the whole range is available on the Erin Condren website. They do ship to the UK, and you can actually at checkout opt to pay all of the import duty and taxes, so that you don't get the dreaded card through your letterbox saying you need to pay this amount before you can have this package from America. So annoying. So annoying. So yeah, you can go on to Erin Condren and have any one of the millions, it feels, designs delivered to you. This is the vertical layout. So again, it starts with the kind of monthly overview that you can fill in. I don't always do that. And then with the vertical layout, you kind of have 3 sections per day that you can fill in. And I know what you're thinking, you're like, but that planner you just showed also had a weekly and a daily layout. Why have you got 2? So I bought this one before I enrolled onto HB90, and I was using this as my main one. However, as I said, the HB90 method is quite specific, and that planner obviously supports that way of doing things. So I've been using that for how many quarters now? Hold on, I've got 2 over here that I've finished. That's the 3rd one that I have gone through, so 3 quarters. And I didn't want this one to go to waste because they are not cheap. So I have been using this to plan out social media of late. For example, YouTube, what I'm planning to post, when I'm going to post it, ideas, also things like Instagram Reels and posts. So that has this kind of alternative use. However, now I feel quite well versed in the HB90 method. I'm probably going to opt to not have a planner specifically for Q3 and to go back to using this but with the system, which is now pretty much cemented in my mind, because I do especially love this one, the coiling, the layout. It's just so pretty. It runs until December, so I don't need to buy another one until next year, but they have so many gorgeous designs and so tempting, but I digress. So yeah, paper planners, definitely another essential for me. Next up is probably the most obvious of all the things on this list, but I'm going to show it anyway because why not? The laptop, specifically a cute laptop with stickers. So you can see them all here. Because you could write your entire novel on pen and paper, but at some point you would need to transcribe it. So yeah, laptop is definitely essential. And in that same vein, what is on the laptop to help me write is my next essential, and that is Scrivener. So if you're not familiar with Scrivener, it is a piece of software that was designed specifically for writers. It is everything that you need to write your book, it is everything you need to plot your book, it is everything you need to keep all of the information pertaining to your book in one piece of software. It has a zillion features that I cannot possibly go through here all at once, but the reason that I prefer it to other non-writer softwares but could use them, for example Google Docs or Microsoft Word, is that it's just so specific. I like the fact that we can lay out chapters and scenes. I have specific areas for things like world building if I want to use them, though I do tend to do it on paper, but it's there if I ever want to have it in a digital form. I also have a personal gripe with things like Microsoft Word. Now they're on a subscription model. No, I refuse to pay a subscription for Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. I remember the days where you could just go into somewhere like PC World, I'm showing my age here, and just pick up the box and Microsoft Office was yours for life. Like obviously you could go buy a newer version whenever that came out, but I wholly object to the subscription model. So yeah, that's why I won't use Microsoft Word. Google Docs, I don't like writing in the cloud or doing things in the cloud. I don't like Google Calc. I don't like any of it. Sorry, not sorry. It's not for me. Yes, there are kind of free options for word processing software like Apache Office, LibreOffice, I think it's called. I do have Libre on my laptop, but it's kind of clunky. It's okay for like a basic document that I might need to write, but I would never ever write my novel in it. It's just no. Scrivener is where it's at for me. If you've watched any amount of my videos, you have seen this several times, but I love it so much, I'm just going to keep showing it. It is my story Bible. I was absolutely inspired to make this after watching Sarah Cannon's video where she sets one up for her book that is now out but was in the process of being written at the time. Can't show too much because obviously my novel is in progress, so I don't want everyone looking in here at all my ideas, but please admire my beautiful washi dashboard. I just like things to look nice. It's just who I am. So for example, here's something I can show you because I haven't put anything on it. This is going to be where my finalized map is going to go. I currently have a very basic map stuck up on my whiteboard, but once it's a bit more refined, I'm going to put a copy in here. And you'll see that I use lots of washi tape in different colors here. But yeah, everything that I need to know about my world, my characters, all of that lives in here. I do plan to decorate this cover a bit more, but this I got off Etsy just to make it a bit more sparkly. The actual book itself is a B6 Stalogy. Expensive, but worth it. Really, really good paper. Okay, so we have planned our novel, we have our laptop, we have our software, we are getting into it. And you know what we need at this point? An excellent chair. That is my next essential, is a really good chair. You cannot scrimp on this. There are many other things that you can certainly cut costs on, but a good ergonomic chair, if you're writing for any length of time, it's worth its weight in gold. This chair is just so comfortable. It has lumbar support, the height is adjustable. This one also has a footrest, so if I want to sit back and stretch out, I can do that. And of course, it's pink to match my aesthetic. Colour is optional, you can go for whatever you want. I could not be in here doing what I do if I was just sat on like a normal chair. It would just be so uncomfortable, and it's going to lead to things like even worse posture, because you know, no one's got the good posture these days. So yeah, bad posture, backache, we all need to avoid this, particularly if you're of a certain age. Get the good chair. So you've got your good chair, your laptop, your pens, your books, and you know what you need now? It's my next essential. Candles. I have so many, but I have just picked this one up because it was the easiest one to get to. So good. This is my current project candle. I got it, I think, not last Halloween before, from TK Maxx. It's about halfway down now. I've looked every Halloween since to find another one because I just love this scent so much, and it's just so gorgeous, and they have not had it since. I will not stop looking though, because this scent is my absolute favorite. I love to have a candle burning when I'm working. It's just very cozy. It kind of has an ambiance. A lot of writers have particular project candles, and the scents kind of lend themselves maybe to what they're writing. So if you're writing something like dark fantasy, you're probably going for a candle with notes of things like leather or wood or spice, something that's a bit rich and, dare I say it, a bit dark. For me, it's pink and it's sparkly, and it's got a very kind of fruity light smell, which is perfect for me on cozy fantasy. But you can have so much fun looking for and smelling candles that you think go with the story that you're writing. Have at it, guys. It's so much fun. The next essential is possibly a little less essential at this time. It is June when I am filming this, but this stays out year round in my office, and it is Cozy blanket. This one is specifically from Halloween, as you can see, because it has Boo. I'm just a big fan of Halloween. It's one of my favorite times of the year, but that's a whole other video, so we won't get into that. But yeah, there's nothing worse when you kind of writing at your desk and you're feeling a bit cool, and you don't necessarily want to have to like get up and go too far. You don't want to have to go maybe all the way back to get a jumper or a sweater from your wardrobe. You just want to be able to lean across and get something that's going to solve that problem. I keep this on my reading armchair, which is right next to my desk, so that if I am writing and I feel a bit cool, which is not really happening now, but absolutely will later in the year, I've just got this blanket and I can just kind of snuggle and get into it, and then I am once again comfortable to continue writing. And finally, the one thing that all writers can absolutely agree is an essential: water. See also tea and coffee. If you're writing, you need some sort of cozy hot drink, because how else are you going to make it through that session? I also always try to have water nearby. This is my current favorite. It is Kuromi. Unfortunately, she had a slight accident and now she wobbles around in there, but it's fine. She's still cute. I also have a knockoff Stanley cup as well if I would just want to bring all of the water up. I'm going to be up here for a while. But tea and coffee are life. I am a coffee girl in the morning and a tea girl in the afternoon. So much tea and coffee in this house, it is insane. But yeah, always having a hot drink on the go is definitely an essential for me, and I'm sure for all of you. So there we have it. Those are all of my writing essentials, with the caveat that essentially you don't need all these things, but I kind of do. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I would love to know what your writing essentials are, the things that you just cannot get into your story without. So do drop me a comment down below. If you have enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. I upload videos twice a week. On Tuesdays, it is a kind of sit down, let's chat, sharing all my author tips and tricks and experience with you. On Fridays, I share a weekly vlog so you can see what I have been getting up to and get little updates on my work in progress and see little snippets of my life. So thank you very much for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye.